Good morning. It's August, no, it's not. It's October 11th. And a chilly morning. It's 2 degrees, as I said out here. I may wish I'd worn a glove on the hand that has to hold the. Oh, I hear a lot of geese somewhere. They're probably thinking, it's starting to get cold. There they go. Time to really start thinking seriously about getting out of here. Anyway, this is Monday, so that means a walk along the creek. See how it's changed since the last time I did it a week ago. It's Thanksgiving in Canada, so happy Thanksgiving. We were out last night for a nice Thanksgiving dinner. We'll have something nice tonight as well. Thanksgiving is, of course, a harvest festival, and it's earlier in Canada because by the time the American version of Thanksgiving rolls around, we're mostly under the snow, so. So ours is the second Monday in October. First step, of course, is heading to the footbridge. On the publishing front, I've started doing something leading up to the release of Shapers of Worlds Volume 2, my new anthology, kickstarted. Oh, when did I walk down this alley? I've never walked down this alley. That I kickstarted earlier this year, featuring science fiction and fantasy authors who are guests of my podcast, The World Shapers, where I talk to them about their creative process. There's 24 stories, and so with 24 days to go, which was a couple of days ago, I've started posting the first few lines of each story from the book. So started with Shadow Sight by Kelly Armstrong, a few lines. Ghost and Fox by Marie Brennan. Yesterday was Garth Nix's Letters from an Imprisoned Wizard to a Young Queen. And today is Candace Jane Dorsey's Going to Ground. So I'm going to keep doing that every day, right up until the release of the book. And hopefully that will scare up some more pre-sales. You can pre-order the book most easily by going to Books to Read, that's the numeral, bookstoread.com/shapers of www.bookstoread.com/shapers of worlds 2. And both 2's in both Books to Read and Shapers of Worlds 2 are numerals. So bookstoread.com/shapers of worlds 2. And you can pre-order it. The ebook, anyway. Aside from being chilly, it's a lovely morning. It is supposed to frost tonight. This is the official. Looks like our official first frost will likely be tonight. It's supposed to go to -2. Knew it was coming, but it's been well and truly delayed, so it's been quite a pleasant October. Did I actually walk to Garnet when I didn't mean to? No, but we'll take this alley just because it's an alley, and alleys are more interesting. Oh no, we won't, because this one will end. I'll have to climb the dike. So We won't take that alley. Sure. No, I did go to Garnet Street. No. No, this is Cameron. I don't know why suddenly this looked like Garnet Street. I lived on Garnet Street. You'd think I'd recognize it. It has been a while. Anyway, the footbridge is on Cameron Street. They're still working on that. Over there, I thought it was done, but now they're building something on the side. Gate fence, I guess. It's like a shed. Garage maybe to come. There's the footbridge. I think I've topped 160 subscribers on here now. Not that anybody has said hello yet this morning, but that's well over 100 subscribers since I started doing this, have added to my channel back in March. At this rate, I'll have enough to monetize it in, oh, what, 10 years? Good thing I'm not doing it for money. There's the creek. Always look that way first. Well, not necessarily that way first, but always look both ways. And we come over here, we'll look to the west. Water is very blue. My hand is getting very cold. I really should have put on a glove this morning. I may have to change hands just to warm it up, which is a bit awkward, but can be done. There we go, I just did it. And we'll take the path along the creek on a beautiful but chilly autumn morning in Regina. A lot of geese. Seeing them flying over on the other side of the creek there. Of course, I could have waited till later in the day when it was warmer, especially since it's a holiday, but holidays don't matter that much being a freelancer. I don't really think of them as different than regular days usually, except my wife's home. See a bit of my shadow there. See, there goes some more geese overhead. More over there. Waterfall was actually running last time I was here, which surprised me. I figured it'd be turned off for good now. Is it on down there now? No. It is off this morning for sure. There's a cyclist. Guess we could go down and take the how wet is the grass? I guess that's the question. See, there's this side path down here. It's not paved. but it's pretty clear because people do walk down here quite a bit. So it's a bit more like being in the wilderness, but it's not. I don't think I'll stay down here. The grass is probably a little wet. Anyway, but yeah, you can walk down there closer to the water. And I have done it once or twice. There we go, some more. My thumb's getting cold again. Gloves. Tomorrow I wear gloves. I might walk downtown tomorrow. I have to go to the drugstore anyway. So I might combine that with my walk. It's been a while since I've been downtown. Sometime this week I'll go out to the Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Somebody who was watching yesterday wanted to see that. So chance again. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. Or later this week, I mean. Later this morning I have an interview, being interviewed by actually one of the authors who's in the book, but she has a podcast called Book Lights. We're going to talk about the anthology. Sekester is her name. She writes paranormal romance. And her story in the book is called The Lost Cipher of Dr. D, which was fun because Dr. D, who was a Elizabethan astrologer and, magic type guy, at least that's what he claimed to be, popped up in the news because he had an obsidian mirror he used for, who knows, scrying spirits, talking to the dead or something. And it popped up in the news because they determined that it was of Aztec origin, which was interesting. The Lost Cipher of Dr. D in the story in the book is a book that would let you decode the language of angels, and if you knew that, you could start the apocalypse. So there's a secretive department, government department, Department 13, that tries to keep these things out of human hands, and that's what it's about. Our first dog of the morning. Nobody said hello this morning on Facebook or YouTube, so if you're there, please say hi. Reassure me I'm not the last person on earth except for the guy walking his dog we just passed. And whoever's making chainsaw noises in the distance. Or leaf blower noises. Sounds more like a chainsaw. More geese. Oh, there's two people. So the creek's over there. We'll be back to it momentarily. quite decided how I'll walk along it and which way I'll go, and I'll get to the other end, get to the bridge down there. Water peeking through the trees. Really sounds like a chainsaw. They must be trimming a tree somewhere in the not too distant distance. So the footbridge will be crossing momentarily. I don't see anybody, but I hear it. Sounds like it's coming from the trees right in front of us, but I can't see a thing. Hey, another Volvo. Well, I now know that this is 2 degrees with the wind blowing is too cold not to wear gloves. I know that. I think I would know that after living up here since I was 7, but you know. We live, we learn. All right. Over the bridge, through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. That's a Thanksgiving song. U.S. Thanksgiving. All right, we have to take our look down the creek. There it is to the west. There's always pigeons. They're under the, I don't know if you can hear them or not, but they're under the, looking into the sun. I guess the chainsaw is just across the street. That's where it was coming from. And we continue onward. Well, I say we. As far as I can tell, nobody's watching live, but if you're there, say hi. I know, it's Monday morning. Well, here. Could be something else entirely, wherever you are. Monday afternoon, or maybe even Tuesday morning. A group of people with dogs over to my right. The wind is brisk when you're walking into it. I think the wind chill was like -2 or -3, so. Come January, this will feel like an amazingly warm day, but it's only what you get used to. More geese going over. And flock after flock of them this morning. very pretty though, green still. The grass, that is. And some of the trees are still quite green. They're the ones that'll just drop their leaves all of a sudden without bothering to change color. If we get a frost tonight, that'll hasten that. Okay, put it back in the other hand again. Oh, look, there's somebody. Hi, Lucas. It's a chilly future home at the moment, just above freezing. It's supposed to go to 11 or something today. It's probably more like 3 now instead of 2, like when I set out. So it is climbing as the sun rises. Good morning. Trying to read the name. Anita, good morning. I'm not alone. Hey. Well, I am, but you know what I mean. So about a year ago, I was jogging this without a camera, and was very pleased that I was able to do it, but not so pleased with the way my knees felt afterwards. So that's what I decided. I was a little too late in life to take up jogging. I want my knees to keep working. So I switched to walking, and then in March, after watching Walking Commuter, the guy who walks around Manhattan on YouTube, I realized, hey, I could do that. And I've been doing it ever since. My wife's from Toronto. My daughter's there right now. Actually, she's in Kingston right now, but she's going to university in Toronto. A lot of people relocate from Toronto a long time ago now when Canada Life, or Crown Life, I guess it was, relocated their headquarters to Regina from Toronto. Some people refused to make the trip, but many people did. We got a lot of Toronto people on that trip. Hello. On that, not trip, exchange, I guess. Move. That's the word. Got distracted by saying hi to the people with the dog. For a while they had a little bit of snow in the forecast for next week, but that's not there now, so my first snow walk will still be sometime off. We'll go on under the bridge today just to stretch it out a little bit further. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I have a frog in my throat this morning. It's probably from the cat. I am probably slightly allergic to the cat. It doesn't bother me most of the time, but every once in a while I'll sneeze for no apparent reason. And there's other things in the air that I may be allergic to this time of the year, dust and so forth. Okay, we'll go under the Pasco Street Bridge here. the water's high, it can flood this path, but no risk of that right now. We're downstream from the lake, so if they open the spillways, then the creek here can fill up, or if there's a lot of rain. Go up here and walk around the baseball field. So actually we're leaving the creek now. We'll cross it again later. Or will we? Actually we won't. We're already on this side of the creek. That's the Louvain in front of us. That's the faster north-south route. And then the airport's over that way. Baseball field. One of many city-owned fields. Pretty basic, but not too bad. This one has a few bleachers and proper dugouts at least. Well, they're not really dugouts, but shelters. They're still called dugouts, even though they're not dug out. We can walk through it if you want. How exciting is that? Take that little path there over by these apartment buildings and then turn the corner and head home. For a while in the summer I didn't want to come this way because of all the nettles growing along here, but they're all gone. Looks like they mowed here at some point. There's still some nettles down there, but they're pretty low, and I'm not wearing shorts. It was really because I was wearing shorts I was more worried about them. All right, well, we'll walk along here and take the sidewalk. These are pretty new apartment buildings. Not that long ago we watched them being built. Here, let's walk down between them today. This is the back of them. All the air conditioning units. I've never been in them. They look fairly nice, but they have outdoor staircases to get to the second floor, which I think is a bad choice in Saskatchewan. Kind of a cheap choice. So there's the van again, but we're going this way now. It's like a community barbecue there. They have these outdoor staircases. They are covered, but still in the winter, you'd much rather have an indoor staircase. You'd also much rather have underground parking. They didn't do that either. Oof. That was a bigger step down than I expected, by quite a bit. This is the Sask Express building, former school. I rehearsed in it once when it was still just an ex-school. Sask Express hadn't taken it over. But they teach performing classes to kids, and then they have a touring group, which hasn't been touring recently, but they also have down in the gym, they've turned it into a nice little theater, and they've staged musicals down there. There it is, the front of it, and the gym is the down there, which is now their theater. So that was just to add a few more minutes to this walk. Here comes the people with the dogs again. There's another dog in front of me. He's being shy. The other dog's coming in. He didn't want to move. I can't quite read the screen right now because of the brightness. Average rent price of those apartments? I really don't know. It's been a long time since I rented an apartment. A few $100s, I would think. Might rise to $1,000. I don't know. I mean, my daughter's renting an apartment in Toronto, and it's $3,000 a month. Here, I would think you could still rent for $1,000 a month, but I really don't know. Rent was a few $100s a month when I was renting, but that was a long time ago, so I'm probably just not the one to ask. Sorry about clearing my throat. I do still have this frog in my throat. Oh, read it. There's 2 new stop signs here that never used to be here to slow down traffic on this stretch of road. And that's one of them. Now, I could take that path back to join the path we were on, but I'm going to carry on this way. I think I might carry on. Well, we'll see. Many ways home from here. What's up? Yes, it's a very sunny day. There's a little cloud in the north, I noticed, but nothing too threatening. I think there is rain for later in the week, projected. But southern Saskatchewan is one of the sunniest places in Canada. I think Estevan, in fact, down in the southeast corner, is the sunshine capital of Canada with the most, on average, sunny days every year. This is a semi-arid climate, so not quite desert, but you can see it from here, kind of. So we don't actually get that much snow, but because of the cold, it stays, so. And in the occasional year, you can get a lot. I just happened to see some pictures from, which I'd seen before, from 1947. There was like a series of blizzards, and was burying tracks to the depth that it was burying railway engines. That's how deep it was in places. So those pictures are quite amazing. But that's very unusual, and it hasn't happened again since 1947. There was a year when I was a kid in the 70s, which was when everybody was concerned about global cooling, thought the new ice age might be coming. We had a really snowy winter. There was another winter that was really snowy that I missed. I know there were tunnels dug through the drifts out where we lived in North Weyburn, which is right out on the prairie. But I was sick with rheumatic fever and didn't get out that winter. I never saw them. But in the 70s, I remember one year that we had really lots of snow. But the funny thing was, we left on chorus tour, which we did every year at spring break. There was tons of snow on the ground here. And our first stop was in, I don't know, Glendive, Montana or something like that. And when we got there, it's like almost as soon as we crossed the border, all the snow disappeared, and wasn't green grass, but there was grass. I remember all of us getting off the bus and running around in the grass like we'd never seen it before, because it had been a while since we'd seen any back home. Also, we were teenagers, so you know. I think I'll just carry on this way today, instead of going down by the Neil Balkwell Center. Back when I was jogging, before I decided my knees wouldn't take it, I looked forward to getting to the intersection up here, because then I turn right and it's downhill towards the creek, which was noticeably nice. Good tobogganing, skiing. Well, there's toboggans, places you can toboggan in town. Cross-country skiing in Regina itself. Not too far away in the Capel Valley, there's a small ski resort. I've never been out there. So you're running down a valley slope. There's no mountains, obviously, so it's not like skiing in the mountains, but people do go skiing out there. And probably up around Saskatoon in the Saskatchewan River Valley, which is deeper in the Capel Valley. You're only, from here, you're 1 day's drive to Calgary, or 1 day's drive to Banff for that matter. So a longer day, 8 hours, 8-9 hours, will put you in Banff. And Camrose comes up before that. So if you want to go mountain skiing, it's just a day's journey, or a short airplane, less than an hour to Calgary by plane. There's certainly lots of skiers in town who do that sort of thing. I'm just not one of them. I've been cross-country skiing a couple of times, but not enough to call myself a cross-country skier. I think the last time I was on a toboggan was when I was doing my science column for CBC Saskatchewan, and I did one on the science of tobogganing. And the host and I went up to top of, it's called Goose Hill, I think, in Douglas Park. Anyway, it's a landfill hill, but it's big enough for tobogganing. Get a nice view from up there too. I'll be up there sometime again on one of these walks. And we not only tobogganed, we did it on the radio. It was recorded, not live, but... I'm going downhill back toward the creek. This is Elphinstone to my right, if you're following along at Google Maps. Coming up to the corner of Elphinstone and College Avenue. Older neighborhood, as you can see, that I live in. houses from the 20s and 30s, a few from the teens, and some newer ones mixed in, of course. But let's take the alley. Let's see, this is Monday. Wednesday is recycling day. Got to remember that because I missed it for a month because we were away. Now we're walking toward downtown. If you look way down at the end, you can see a taller building, which is a former Sastel building. Downtown proper is off to my left in that direction, and I'll probably go there tomorrow, as I said, because I have to go to the drugstore. That's boring. That one's got nothing but bins, so let's go back to the street. College Avenue. Actually, maybe just to stretch this out, I'll walk down back to the dike again. We'll end up with another look at the creek. Still some nice leaves left down here. They haven't really changed color, but they're still on the trees. But like I said, if we get the frost we're promised now, tomorrow, that's usually something that'll send them over the edge. A few Halloween decorations there, I hope. Should see more and more of that as the month goes along. We're not that far away now from Halloween. We'll take this path over here back up onto the dike. Oh, rope swing. There's something you don't see very often around here. Saw it all the time in the south where I grew up, where my relatives live, so we visited there often. Didn't really grow up there. I was there till I was 8. Then we moved up here from Texas. But all my relatives lived down there, so we were down there a lot in the summertime. And I went to school in Arkansas University. So now we're on the north side of the creek, on the dike. Creek used to flooded this whole area back in the 70s quite badly. I think that's when this dike may have been constructed. Before I lived here, but I've seen pictures. Didn't reach our house, which is uphill from the creek, but we're about 3 blocks from the creek, so it reached alarmingly close to it, that flood. And maybe in the year it flooded in Weyburn really badly, I have a memory of, as a high school student, helping to fill sandbags and place sandbags in Weyburn, trying to protect things. Okay, now we'll go back, kind of pointing at the sky there. Anyway, one more look at the creek. And then we'll go this way. playground. So this is Garnet Street, which is the one I used to live on when I first moved to this neighborhood back about 90, about 90 actually, 90, 91, somewhere in there. I lived just down there. We'll go this way though, around through a little bit of park at the end here. So it comes together with Leopold Crescent up here at this weird intersection. Sometimes there's snowshoe hares here. I don't see any. I certainly saw a lot yesterday. I walked yesterday. I must have seen a dozen or more. So, is that one out in the middle there? No, it's a rock. What's going on here? Walking the sidewalk, whatever it is. They're looking in the little free library. Here's another one. Can't see the screen now, so if you say anything, I probably won't see it. But we'll go up here to Angus Crescent, my crescent. It's an interesting house, I always thought. That see, still some flowers left because we haven't had a frost. But tonight, we will. Some more left here. Here we are at Angus Crescent, where I live. Remember the first time I drove down here, oh, wow, I'm going to live in this neighborhood because of the trees arching over and everything. It just looks so nice compared to where my first apartment was in town, which is just in a very plain, uninteresting apartment building up in the northwest. And this was way closer to where I worked at the Saskatchewan Science Center. I could walk there in half an hour, rode my bike a few times. Well, it's garbage morning. And we'll quit at this intersection up here. It's a nice house too. Oh, they're going down our alley to get our garbage, so that's good. Okay, so I'll stop here. Thanks for walking with me, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.